Leo Sayer. How much love? Thanks once again to the brilliant Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott for the Radio 2 Piano Room today. Back tomorrow morning, 9:30. Please join me then. Now it's midday. Here's Vanessa.
Thanks, Ken. Hello, this is Vanessa Feld sitting in for Jeremy Vine on the programme this lunchtime. Rishi Sunak says he was critical about many elements of the COVID lockdown. Do you appreciate his honesty, or should he keep his thoughts to himself, given the hardships the nation went through under a policy enforced by the very government of which he was a key member? How old does your eldest child need to be before you can ask them to look after your younger children? A mum says because she can't afford childcare that her 13-year-old has to help look after her 11 and 9-year-olds. Oven, microwave, hob, slow cooker, or even an air fryer. We look at how much they cost to run and the cheapest and most efficient ways to cook. And is there scaffolding on your street which has been up for months on end? Please email your comment to vine@bbc.co.uk and include your name and phone number. You can text your point to 88291 or you can WhatsApp us on 08000 288 291. BBC Radio 2. But first, here's the news with Justine Green.
Thanks, Vanessa. Good afternoon. The number of top GCSE grades awarded to students has fallen compared with last year, but is still above pre-pandemic levels. Pupils across England, Wales and Northern Ireland have been receiving their results after sitting the first external exam since 2019. 73.2% of papers were graded 4 or C and above, compared with 77.1% in 2021. The Education Minister Will Quince says the grades have taken into account disruption to education caused by COVID.
What we're seeing in these results today is, yes, a return to examinations, but albeit with a number of adaptations reflecting the disruption that young people have faced over the past couple of years. So results are higher than they were when we last had exams in 2019, but lower than under teacher assessed grades in 2021.
Merseyside Police say they're pursuing a number of very positive lines of inquiry as they investigate the murder of a 9-year-old girl in Liverpool. Olivia Pratt-Corbell was shot in the chest by a gunman chasing another man into a house on Monday night. Officers have thanked members of the local community for what they described as their phenomenal support as their inquiry continues. But Detective Chief Superintendent Mark Kameen said they'd still not arrested the gunman and again urged him to hand himself in.
In my previous appeal, I asked for the man responsible for this brutal, callous, thoughtless attack to surrender himself to the police. Unfortunately, that individual has failed to do that. But my message to him remains the same. We will not rest until we find you, and we will find you.
British Gas has promised to donate 10% of its profits during the energy crisis to help people struggling with rising costs. The company's owner, Centrica, says households could receive between £250 and £750. Critics of the plan say the firm isn't including the money it made from drilling oil and gas, which makes up the majority of its profits. The Conservative leadership candidate Rishi Sunak has criticised the government's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The former Chancellor told The Spectator magazine that independent experts had been given too much influence over decision-making. Downing Street said ministers made collective decisions to protect public health. Environmental campaigners have criticised Google's decision to change the way they calculate the climate impact of flying to consider only carbon dioxide emissions. They say the move could encourage more people to fly. The search engine says it believes other factors should form part of its estimates, but not at the expense of accuracy, and it's working to address this. Dr. Doug Parr is the Chief Scientist and Policy Director at Greenpeace UK.
Aviation actually has a big climate impact through the emissions of water vapour forming contrails, particulates, nitrogen oxides that come from the burning and so on. So these all contribute in a big way to the climate impact of aviation, and not using them and not adopting them and not saying they're there really airbrushes the impact of aviation.
And that's the BBC News. It's 4 minutes past 12.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.
Coming up, Rishi Sunak now says he's critical about many elements of the COVID lockdown. Do you appreciate his honesty, or is it a little too late to reveal that now?